How did this woman kill her fiancé and live with his dismembered body for 6 months before getting caught? And how did this woman run away from the scene after accidentally pulling the trigger on her clients?
Did you intentionally kill that guy?
Oh!
Let's find out the darkness behind their happy lives.
We know a lot more. You know a lot more.
This woman killed her disabled fiancé and dismembered his body. If this isn't crazy enough for you, then hear this. She lived with the remains of her dead fiancé for nearly 6 months, until neighbors took it upon themselves to find the origin of the bad odor. Soon, the smell would be traced back to Penny Postspiesel's trailer, which she shared with her late boyfriend, Anthony Mitchell.
What's your relationship with Anthony Mitchell?
He was my fiance.
Okay. And what happened to Anthony Mitchell?
We went back to Europe.
I'm sorry?
We went back to Europe.
You went back to Vero? When did you go back to Vero?
October, I believe,
You went back to Vero in October of...
2018.
Okay. Did you take him back to Vero?
Yes.
Okay. Where's he at now?
America.
You have no clue where he's at now.
Yeah.
But you were with him.
Yes,
Where were you with him before he came back to Vero?
I was like Panasonic.
Okay. And how long have you been in Lake Kansas?
Until December.
Okay. So you're telling me that he came back to Vero with you from Lake Pensacola? When?
In October.
How did he get here?
We drove
You drove what?
the car.
Okay.
It's apparent how Penny never bothered to come up with a believable story about Anthony. For someone who never cared about her fiancé's dead remains decomposing in the house, it is not surprising that she has some sort of trouble believing that she is indeed in the wrong.
You were going to make the funeral arrangements. You never distributed what we could call maybe funeral memorial cards with Anthony's name on it in memory of. You never did that.
Mm-hmm.
You never purchased those and had them shipped to your residence in Lake Penn.
Mm-hmm. Was he okay?
Oh,
This is the point where Penny slowly begins to realize that every other person and her previous actions will contradict her statements. She is growing increasingly hesitant in her responses. The officers have succeeded in catching her off guard with their last statement. They want her to know that they know she is the real killer. Why do you think Penny failed to clean the house after she murdered her fiancé? Tell us in the comments below.
you remember the people that lived next to you in Wilton Park?
Where was that?
The first one, when you first moved in.
There was a home sign and a right sign.
You never been friends with Frank?
Good. Fire.
I'm not sure. But was the guy Frank became friends with in the park? He said Frank's was at the trailer with you on a regular basis.
No.
Frank even told us himself that he was in the trailer with you.
Yeah, he came up there one time. I told you.
No,
Now
he was
he's
inside the trailer with you.
When? At Rick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there.
No, I'm sorry, he wasn't. He was never able to talk with me. Never.
So describe the trailer to us.
And he should be able to.
The inside trailer.
Like I said, he should be able to. He helped us in there.
That picture that I
So
showed you?
should we be able to describe that?
Picture.
Yeah, the picture I showed you?
Of the outside of the camera? Yes.
No.
Yeah.
You described that to us too?
No.
Yes, you did.
That's it.
Why do you say bullshit?
No, we did.
You don't believe you described it to us?
No, because it wasn't there and it's not my camera. No.
It wasn't there and it's not your camera.
No, not my camera. No.
Denying, hesitating, and lying on the faces of the officers. Even though Penny knows she is caught red-handed by the police, she continues to lie. The level of complete dissociation from her reality tells her everything about her being a narcissist.
Supposedly a dead body in it.
That's not supposed to
He's
be
dead. He's not supposed to do it. He's dead.
He's dead.
He's gone.
There was
Somebody
so.
that I loved, I would do that to.
I'm just asking why he would say that to you. Why would he say that to us?
I don't know.
Is there a problem between you and him?
No.
Are y'all close?
You should have. Until we started with the drugs.
How long has he been on drugs?
I've been on for a couple of years.
Only on guns, right?
Yeah.
Where are they at?
I don't know.
You said you had cancer, right?
So,
Then you told Frank that you have a supplemental story.
I'm hoping to go with your mother too. Because it's your
That's your trailer.
Yeah, okay.
We didn't just pull this out of the air. I'm thinking you're come talk to you just because you felt like it.
Yeah.
You're sick, right?
Yes.
Something happened between you and him.
Reliance having to
Okay. They make you mad about the wanting to share you this infatuation with younger girls, right?
Yes, to the point where I couldn't go. To the point where I was disgusted. Yeah.
Did you find out that he possibly molested somebody?
I called it.
Who was that?
That's where I'm from. Like,
How did you find that out?
he has something.
Now that she knows there is no way out of the interrogation room until she admits to her crime, Penny slowly builds up a story about how horrific of a man her fiancé was.
Do you remember purchasing those shears at the Ace Hardware in Hollywood?
You know,
Shears.
You know,
And these hardware where?
in Wildwood, which is just north of Lake
Yeah,
Tennessee.
because there was tree branches up above the camper.
Okay.
what about that?
Yeah, it was a knife for filling fish.
Okay.
What'd you use that one for?
It's a cutting knife for meat.
Okay. You remember purchasing all those items?
Uh-huh.
What's the material on these items?
Gloves. I
Well,
don't know.
I want to tell you what it is. It's Anthony's remains.
Anthony's on that.
That's his hair right there on it. This one was in all of that.
At this point, the officers are using direct confrontation with Penny. However, Penny's facial expressions and body language are far from comfortable. She calmly looks at the remains of her dead fiancé, pretending as if she is seeing it for the first time. This level of acting is only possible when you have dissociated from reality. Penny believes in her head that she is not a bad person, and that is only what matters to her.
Steps up to the bedroom. The carpet is completely stained. Doesn't even look like carpet anymore.
Then you get to the bathroom where the towels were covering up.
Well, they were
Holes.
lined up against the door.
And you open the
That's not
bathroom.
including the decomp smell. That's awful.
What?
The decomposition smell from this body. I'm just telling you, describing what's inside of your trailer.
You're saying that's not in your trailer.
You made it up, is that what you're saying?
I don't know, but I know when I left it, it wasn't okay.
Yeah, it was.
No,
It absolutely was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes. That was in your trailer.
No, it wasn't.
Slowly, things get out of Penny's control. She will reach a breaking point soon. However, what is about to come is not what you expect.
Never would have heard him like that.
I would have never heard him period.
It's obvious that you didn't really care for him that much because of the old abusive relationship that you had. And you've already said that you had a
That's
357 in the drawer that gave you 357 reasons why you stayed with him.
Yeah, I gave you 350 reasons not to move him.
Okay, well,
Okay.
either way, however you put it, but
That was his choice of words, not mine.
So the man who wanted to share you with other people, who wanted to have sex with minors, and who told you that this was 357 reasons for you not to leave. You didn't have a problem with it.
and you loved
I
him.
do.
You
I
loved
do.
him. And you
I
could
do.
never hurt him.
I do love him.
And you would never ever hurt him after he strangled you in the past.
After he sits on you, beats you, verbally abuses you. You can never hurt him.
There wasn't a point where he was choking you and you stabbed him because you couldn't take it. You thought your life was in danger of yourself. Because
He crushed my larynx almost, yeah.
did you stab him then? Because if you did, then it is what it is. He was hurting you.
This is where the officers give her an opportunity to admit to the crime without looking like a bad guy. Given her narcissistic nature, the officers have so far realized that painting her as a victim would help them extract a confession. However, Penny wants to be known as a complete angel who endured all sorts of abuse and never even thought of fighting back. When things get out of her control, she asks for an attorney. Do you think Penny is smart to call for a lawyer at this point in the interrogation? Tell us your opinion in the comments.
Okay, get me an attorney.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you're going to be charged with second-degree murder.
You can charge me with whatever you want to, then I'm no guardian.
Okay.
Penny will be sentenced to life imprisonment for brutally killing her physically disabled boyfriend, cutting up his remains and keeping them in her camper for nearly 6 months before she was caught. Kira Walker. Orlando Ewell was only 44 years old when he was shot dead in the back of his neck. Nobody would know what happened to him until suddenly the police stumbled upon CCTV footage that fit as the last puzzle piece in the investigation. Kira Walker, known to sell drugs on a small scale, will be brought into questioning after the footage was found.
I think we got an idea as to what happened, okay? But we can't put words into your mouth, all right? What happened has to come from you.
What Kira has just done is give away a major sign of nervousness. It is definitely not normal for a suspect to stretch in the interrogation room. She really tried to appear confident in front of the officer, but miserably failed.
Wednesday, May 8th at 8:40 a.m. 707 South 25th Street, 25th and Pierce. Dude got shot. Okay? Like I told you before, I'm pretty sure we know what happened. Let me tell you something. There's a difference between somebody intentionally shooting somebody and between somebody intentionally shooting somebody and somebody accidentally shooting somebody, or somebody struggling with somebody or anything like that. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't tell your story.
I can't tell the story.
No, you can't tell a story. Let me tell you why you can tell a story.
After reading her Miranda rights and making sure she is not drunk or high, the officers will directly jump onto confrontation. This happened to Kira because the officers had already gathered enough witnesses against her, which happened to be Kira's alibi. Her friends who were with her on the scene had given their testimony before Kira was arrested. Now, all the officers need to do is get Kira to confess she hit the trigger.
That's what it is. Now where we're at is talking to you. We're here talking to you, and we're trying to figure out, is this chick a cold-blooded killer? Or what happened? Well, you're looking at me like I can't talk for you. I may have an idea of what happened, but maybe people are lying. Maybe you told them to say this to try to protect you. I don't know.
What was said?
Well, I can't tell you what was said, because if I tell you what was said, if I tell you what was said, and then you say, yeah, that's what happened, well, then it ain't no good. It don't mean nothing, because I put the words in your mouth.
Kira is here for a reason, and that is the discrepancies in the witness testimonies. All of them were trying to protect Kira, but accidentally slipped up. So now, Kira has to endure the interrogation as she has no other choice. The officers claim that they have enough evidence against her and that whatever is happening in this room is a routine procedure. However, this is a deception technique they are using to get Kira to tell the truth.
And it matches up with the other pieces of the puzzle and everything comes together, then it comes together. Then it's the truth. If it don't match up, then it ain't the truth. Then what do you think the DA does? What do you think the judge does? They go by worst case scenario. Because what do they see? They see cold-blooded killers all the time out there trying to kill people.
When can I make a phone call?
Kira is now under intense pressure because of the officer's desperate attempt to get her to confess. However, she is not ready to give up on her freedom yet.
No.
Why?
Because we don't allow people to make phone calls from here. You can do it at county when you get to county. We don't have phones here.
You got a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I make a call on your phone?
Because it's my phone.
Let's take a closer look at her body language. Kira hides her hands under the table. Her posture is bent downward, as if she is trying to close herself in a protective shell. She feels vulnerable and helpless. Kira turns her face away from the officer as soon as she says something to him. signaling her discomfort with his presence.
This ain't for me. This is for you. This is about your future. This ain't about my future.
It is imperative to note how Orlando was killed by Kira. As far as the officer knows, Orlando was a regular buyer of drugs. He promised Kira that he would buy drugs worth $200 from her. Instead, he backed out from his promise at the last minute and decided to spend only $40 on drugs. This enraged Kira, and the two got into a fight. Kira threatened to pull the trigger on Orlando. As he tried to run away from the car, Kira pulled the trigger and shot him down, leaving the area as Orlando lay dead on the side of the road. Now the real investigation here is not about who killed Orlando. Instead, it is about how Orlando was killed, whether Kira accidentally pulled the trigger or it was a planned murder. The officers will only find out about it when Kira says something. The only option left is guilt tripping.
Did you intentionally kill that guy?
I don't even know. I don't even know what y'all talking about.
You do.
I don't.
You do.
Notice how Kira immediately covers her accidental confession. She first agrees with the officer that she did not kill Orlando intentionally, but almost immediately realizes her mistake and backs away. However, the officer had pre-planned the structure of the question, noticing Kira's nervousness. He knew that his suspect was facing a mental block, so he structured the question in a way that seemed like a no-brainer, but the answer to which would unintentionally come out to be honest.
Kira, I ain't out to get you. This ain't me against you. This is either done on purpose, boom, or it wasn't done on purpose. There's a big difference there, Kira. There's a big, big difference.
The officer now tries to play the good cop. He acts like whatever is going on in this interrogation room will eventually turn in favor of Kira if she speaks the truth. The officer wants her to think that he is her savior, who would get her out of a heavy prison sentence.
You guys should speak with the detectives that just came and talked to you.
So when you're
Go back up and talk to
when
you.
you're down there and you decide.
So y'all gonna take me down to Central Book?
Yeah, it's okay. This is where we just got you from.
got from. You decide that you want to talk to us and tell us what happened. Just tell the jailer. Say, hey, I need to talk to those detectives that.
I can make a call though.
Because you can't. Investigation is happening right now, and we can't compromise the investigation. Like I said, we got detectives.
I mean, I can make a call in front of you. Put it on speakerphone.
Can't do it. What if it's some code? What if you got some secret code set up? How's my baby doing means
Get rid of the fucking car.
drive the car into Lake Michigan. Or, you know what I'm saying? That's
I
why.
gotta think like that. I mean, I figured it just was like, you can ask where my daughter at.
I can, and I can do that for you if you want. I can.
Yeah, but I want to be present, you know?
Can't have
That's not how it goes.
But like I said, you decide that you don't want the DA to just guess on what happened.
I mean, like that, I just want my lawyer present, you know what I mean?
I'm good with that. I'm totally
We
good with
respect
that.
you. We're not-
Kira makes a smart move and calls for her lawyer. She did not tell the cops how it happened. However, she pleaded guilty to an amended charge of second-degree reckless homicide, use of a dangerous weapon. As part of a plea deal, 2 other charges were dismissed and read into the court record. They include attempted armed robbery and possession of a firearm by a felon. To watch more of these videos, subscribe to our channel and get the latest information about true crime.